Hi, Monique. Welcome to Plugged In. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Monique, can you take us back to the beginning of your journey? When and how were you first diagnosed with diabetes?
I was diagnosed when I was 13 years old. So almost 30 years ago now. And it was shocking. There's no one in my family with type 1 diabetes. I was kind of the first, and unfortunately the first. It was a big shock. I was in a small town where we didn't really have a lot of resources, so we got handed a lot of videos and pamphlets, and there wasn't the internet like there is now, so there wasn't a lot of support online in the 90s. I got diagnosed and ended up in hospital for 6 days before I was able to go home, because I couldn't go home until I had the ability to do my own injections. And I was 13, and of course I was not going to let my mom do my injections for me. So I would go on day passes to school and had to spend the night there until I could manage my own injections.
Wow, what a shock that must have been for a 13-year-old. How did you feel when you were first diagnosed? Prior to the diagnosis, had you known anything about kidney disease?
I remember after being diagnosed having seen a commercial about it, but never really thought much about it. I didn't know anyone who was diabetic. So it was a surprise. I was very athletic. I was playing sports, and little bits I knew about diabetes was that it was, older people or, different things. I was a kid, I didn't know.
And thinking back now that you've been on this journey for so long, were there any early symptoms that made you suspect that you might have diabetes?
I was pretty classic diagnosis, so it came on pretty quickly, and thankfully my mom was amazing and did some research on her own. So for me, it was within 2 weeks I had lost 15 pounds. I was drinking and drinking and drinking. I could not get enough fluids. I was so thirsty all the time. Not super hungry, but that's because my blood sugars were so high, I was just peeing it right back out. So I used to play sports, and I couldn't even make it through a whole baseball game without having to rush off to somewhere to find a bathroom, because everything that went in just went straight out. And so those were the big signs, is like the constant peeing and the weight loss.